Hey there, jet setters. Whether you're a digital nomad chasing Wi-Fi from Bali to Berlin, a spontaneous soul booking last-minute flights, or just someone trying to make it home for grandma's birthday, this one's for you. Picture this. You've packed, you've prepped, you've powered through TSA, and boom, a screen flashes red. Flight cancelled, seat gone. All thanks to a sneaky rule you didn't even know existed. Welcome to summer 2025, where airline rules are changing faster than your gate assignments. But don't worry, Travel Vibes has your back. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's make sure you stay one step ahead every time you fly. #1. Flying solo. Airlines might be charging you a single supplement in the sky. Alright, let's kick things off with a rule that's rubbing a lot of travelers the wrong way, especially those who love the freedom of solo travel. Whether you're a Gen Z adventurer chasing sunsets or a millennial escaping your group chat for some peace at 30,000 feet, this one's for you. In early 2025, Delta Airlines introduced something sneakily called a solo traveler surcharge. Translation: if you're booking a flight alone on certain domestic routes, you could be paying $90 to $100 more just for flying by yourself. Yep, same seat, same flight, totally different price tag. This isn't a discount for booking in pairs. It's a stealthy fee aimed at solo flyers. Delta says it's about business travelers, but let's be honest, tons of everyday folks travel alone these days. Think students heading home, remote workers flying to co-working hubs, or just people who actually enjoy their own company. After public backlash, Delta walked it back on some routes, but not all. And rumors say United and American have tested similar pricing behind the scenes. Travel Vibes tip: before booking, compare the fare for one passenger versus two. In some cases, booking 2 refundable seats and canceling one might save you money. Wild, right? The skies are getting trickier, but don't worry, we've got your back. Ready for the next surprise? Let's keep going. #cutting it close. United's check-in rule doesn't forgive anyone. Let's be honest, most of us have had that airport moment. You roll in thinking, I've got time. Maybe you even stop for a coffee or squeeze in one last email before boarding. But in 2025, that old-school mindset might cost you the whole trip. Starting June 3rd, United Airlines now enforces a strict, no-exceptions check-in rule. You must check in, online or at the airport, at least 45 minutes before your domestic flight departs. Miss that window by even 1 minute? You're not getting a boarding pass. No pleading with the agent. No, but I'm already here logic. The system locks you out, and even the staff can't override it. That's right. You could be standing at the counter, passport in hand, and still be denied boarding because the clock beat you. Now, United says it's all part of improving efficiency and keeping flights on time. But if you're a frequent flyer, a student running late, or a parent juggling kids and carry-ons, you know life isn't always punctual. Here's your Travel Vibes tip. Set an alarm the day before your flight. Use the airline app to check in as soon as the 24-hour window opens. Screenshot that boarding pass and save it in multiple places. And if you're old school, maybe even print it. Because in this new age of flying, being 30 seconds too late could mean spending 3 hours at the airport without going anywhere. #did Southwest just grow up and start charging us like everyone else? If you've been flying for a while, you probably remember why people loved Southwest. No bag fees, no change fees, no assigned seats. It was the airline equivalent of wearing sneakers to a formal event. Comfortable, casual, and kind of charming. Well, that laid-back vibe, it's officially changing. As of May 28, 2025, Southwest Airlines has introduced a new list of fees and rules that may surprise even their most loyal fans. First, the free checked bags are going away. Your first checked bag now costs $35. The second, that'll be $45. Suddenly, that cheap ticket doesn't look so cheap anymore. Second, flight credits now come with an expiration date. Depending on your fare, they'll expire in 6 months or 1 year. Gone are the days of holding on to a voucher forever, like an old gift card you swore you'd use one day. And third, brace yourself. because assigned seating is coming in early 2026. That means no more lining up in A, B, or C groups and hoping you snag the window seat before the guy with the oversized backpack does. From now on, you'll pay extra for legroom or for that aisle seat you love so much. Now, if you're a Southwest credit card holder, especially through Chase, you might still get a free bag, so check your perks carefully. But for the rest of us, Southwest is starting to look, well, a lot more like the other guys. Here at Travel Vibes, we say, adapt early, plan smart, and always read the fine print, because sometimes the airline you trusted for no fees becomes the one handing you the longest receipt. #4 The power bank problem, when your charger becomes a fire risk. Now let's talk about something we all carry, and probably can't live without on a flight. Our beloved power banks. Because let's face it, if your phone battery dies at 30,000 feet, you might actually have to talk to the stranger next to you. Terrifying. But in 2025, that little lifesaver in your backpack, it's under new scrutiny. Earlier this year, a fire broke out on a flight in South Korea, caused by a power bank overheating midair. Since then, airlines around the world have rushed to update their safety policies. And yes, that includes US carriers too. Here's the new drill. First, power banks were never allowed in checked luggage. That rule's still firm. But now, on many flights, including Southwest, you also can't toss them in the overhead bin. Why? Because if something goes wrong, the crew needs to spot it and act fast. So your power bank? It has to go in your personal item, under the seat, where it's visible and easy to reach. No hiding it in your roller bag. No tucking it behind your neck pillow. Front and center. And here's a pro tip from your travel veteran at Travel Vibes. Stick with trusted brands like Anchor or Mophie. Sure, the $10 off-brand charger from an airport vending machine might look convenient, but it's not worth a cabin evacuation. Bottom line, pack smart, charge smart. And if in doubt, ask your airline before you fly. Because in 2025, even your battery is getting screened for bad behavior. 5. Fewer flights, higher fares, why getting back to the US feels like a game of airport Jenga. Let's say you've just wrapped up a dreamy trip, maybe sipping espresso in Rome, wandering cobblestone streets in Paris, or visiting family in Toronto. You're ready to head home. You check your flight, and it's gone. Cancelled, rebooked, 2 unexpected layovers, and suddenly, your relaxing vacation ends with a $350 detour through 2 time zones and a vending machine dinner in Newark. In 2025, this is becoming the new normal. Here's what's happening. Transatlantic flights from Europe to the US are down nearly 10%. Flights from Canada to the States, down a whopping 33%. Why? Airlines like Lufthansa, British Airways, and Air France are pulling back. They're shifting focus to more profitable routes. Think Mexico, Brazil, and the Caribbean. And who feels the squeeze? Travelers like you. Young professionals heading to conferences, solo explorers with a flexible schedule, and American families trying to get home from that long-awaited European vacation. With fewer options, prices are rising and flight availability is shrinking, especially around holidays and peak weekends. So here's your Travel Vibes strategy. Book early, choose flexible fares, and check your route schedule even after you book, because airlines are making last-minute cuts. Think of it like babysitting your flight. It's needy, but worth it, because the last thing you want is your peaceful trip abroad to end with a surprise layover and an accidental overnight in anywhere that doesn't have good coffee. Headed to the UK? You've got paperwork now, even if it's digital. London, tea theatre and that strangely satisfying drizzle. But before you start daydreaming about Buckingham Palace or fish and chips, there's a new gatekeeper to deal with. The ETA. That's short for Electronic Travel Authorization, and as of January 2025, if you're a US or Canadian citizen, you now need to get one before boarding your flight to the United Kingdom. No, it's not a visa. It's more like an electronic permission slip. It costs about $18, is valid for multiple trips over 2 years, and usually gets approved within 72 hours. To apply, you'll need a passport, a digital photo, and a few minutes of patience on your phone or laptop. There's an app available, But if you're more of a do-it-on-desktop with a mouse and a snack kind of person, the website works just fine. Now here's where most travelers trip up. Literally, don't wait until the night before your flight. Airlines can actually deny your boarding if you don't show proof of ETA. Why? Because if the UK turns you away at immigration, it's the airline's job to fly you back. Spoiler, they don't want to do that. So here's your travel vibes checklist. Apply at least 1 week in advance, and print a paper copy of your approval, just in case your phone dies mid-boarding. Because nothing ruins a vacation faster than being denied at the gate over a form that takes 10 minutes to fill out. Up next, we're crossing back into airport behavior, and why standing up too early might just cost you more than spilled soda. Hell 7, can't wait to stretch? In some countries that's a finable offense. We've all seen it. The second the wheels touch down, there's that one guy already halfway into the aisle, yanking his backpack from the overhead bin like he's late for a fire drill. Admit it, sometimes we are that guy. But if you're flying into Turkey, especially landing at Istanbul Airport, that habit might cost you big time. In 2025, Turkish aviation authorities have implemented a rule that makes standing before the seatbelt sign is turned off a finable offense. And we're not talking about a gentle warning or a passive-aggressive glare from the flight attendant. Now, crew members are required to report violators, and passengers can be fined anywhere from a few $100s to over $1,000, depending on the situation. Why so strict? It's about safety during taxiing, when the plane's still moving, unpredictable and technically in an active zone. But it's also a reminder that different countries take in-flight rules very seriously. So, if you're a traveler who likes to plan tight connections, is eager to beat the customs line, or just can't stand sitting still, this is your moment to practice a little patience. Here's your travel vibes tip. Whether you're flying into Turkey or anywhere else in 2025, play it safe. Stay buckled until that little sign goes ding. Because honestly, a few extra minutes in your seat is a whole lot better than a surprise charge on your credit card. #8, Jetblue and United just became travel besties, and you might be the real winner. Alright, after all the extra fees, stricter rules, and surprise fines, how about a little good news for a change? In a sea of airline cutbacks, one partnership is actually giving travelers something to smile about. Starting in fall 2025, JetBlue and United Airlines are teaming up, and it's not just a handshake and a press release. This partnership brings real perks you can actually use. First, you'll be able to book flights on either airline's website, giving you more options when you're trying to line up layovers, snag better departure times, or avoid that dreaded middle seat on a Tuesday night. Second, if you've been hoarding points like a squirrel with airline miles, good news, you can now earn and redeem loyalty points across both airlines. So your JetBlue points can land you on a United flight, and vice versa. And here's the real kicker for seasoned flyers, your elite status carries over. That means if you've got early boarding, free checked bags, or access to better seats with one airline, those perks now apply to the other two. United's also making a comeback at JFK, which is huge for East Coast travelers. Meanwhile, JetBlue picks up new slots at Newark. So whether you're a savvy New Yorker hopping between boroughs or a student flying cross-country with dreams and a backpack, this partnership means more routes, better flexibility, and fewer loyalty headaches. Travel vibes takeaway: if you've ever felt stuck flying one airline because of your points or perks, 2025 just gave you room to breathe and book smarter. Number 9. No humans at the gate? Welcome to the age of robo-boarding. So you've made it through security, grabbed an overpriced sandwich, and finally reached your gate. Only to realize something's missing. No gate agent, no line, just a sleek machine staring back at you. Welcome to the age of automated, facial recognition boarding gates. A quiet but growing trend at major US airports. Here's how it works. You step up to the machine, it scans your face, matches it to your passport, and boom, your boarding pass is validated without a single word exchanged. Efficient? Yes. A little creepy? Also yes. Now, if you're someone who loves tech, this probably feels like the future. But for travelers who aren't exactly on a first-name basis with facial recognition, or anyone who still prints out every document just in case. This change can feel more like a sci-fi ambush than a travel upgrade. And here's the kicker. Human staff at boarding gates are slowly being phased out, especially during off-peak hours. So if you prefer to ask questions or triple-check your seat assignment with an actual person, you'll need to get there early. Travel Vibes advice. If you're not comfortable with the tech or just want a human moment before boarding, you can still request traditional check-in, but do it well in advance. Because in the age of smart gates, waiting until the last minute might mean no gate agent in sight. Remember, technology's great until it misreads your face while you're chewing gum and wearing sunglasses. So, maybe don't try to outsmart the robots yet. #10 Your bag still fits, right? Not anymore, thanks to the inch that costs $75. So you've packed your favorite carry-on. The same one that's flown with you from Miami to Montana and back again. But here's the plot twist of 2025. Airlines have been quietly shrinking the size limits for carry-on bags. And yes, even your trusted suitcase might no longer make the cut. Carriers like Frontier, Spirit, and even Alaska have all updated their baggage policies this year, shaving off as little as 1 inch from previous maximum dimensions. Now, 1 inch might not sound like a lot, but at the gate, it could cost you $75 or more in last-minute fees when your bag doesn't fit the new sizer. And here's the kicker. These updates often happen with zero fanfare. No press release, no flashing banner. Just a quietly updated webpage that most of us don't read until it's too late. And by then, you're at the gate, holding a bag that won't squeeze into the bin. If you're a college student trying to fly on a budget, a weekend warrior heading to Vegas, or just someone who finally mastered the art of packing light, this rule change hits hard. So here's your Travel Vibes pro move. Before your next flight, double-check your airline's current carry-on dimensions. Don't assume last year's bag still qualifies this year. And if you're in the market for new luggage, look for tags that say 2025 compliant carry-on. Because trust me, nothing ruins a smooth boarding experience faster than having your perfectly packed bag sent to cargo while you're left holding your neck pillow and wondering where your socks went. Number 11. Too many refunds. Your name might be on a watch list, and not the fun kind. Here's one of those changes that doesn't show up in flashing lights, but it's quietly affecting more travelers than you'd expect. In 2025, several major airlines have started doing something a little sneaky. They're now tracking how often you cancel flights and request refunds, even if those refunds are completely legitimate. Maybe you're a frequent traveler with a flexible job, or a busy parent booking trips around school schedules, or maybe you're one of the many folks who grab a good deal just in case, and cancel later if plans shift. Harmless, right? Well, the airlines don't think so. Too many cancellations, and you might find your future bookings flagged for manual review, delayed for processing, or worse, denied entirely on discounted fares. No warning, no explanation, just a slower or more limited booking experience. It's not publicized, it's not transparent, but it's happening. So what's the smart move? If you book often but cancel frequently, consider getting trip protection insurance. It's a safer cushion than relying on airline generosity or refund loopholes that might quietly backfire. And remember, airlines love loyalty, but they're also paying attention to patterns. So if you want smooth sailing at checkout, keep your booking habits clean, or at least a little less suspicious. #12. Your emotional support animal might need a boarding pass now. If your travel buddy has 4 legs, a wagging tail, or a soothing purr, here's something you'll want to know before heading to the airport this year. In 2025, airlines across the US have once again tightened their rules on emotional support animals, and this time, there's much less wiggle room. While official service animals, like trained guide dogs, are still protected and allowed to fly in the cabin at no cost, many airlines no longer recognize emotional support animals, ESAs, for free cabin travel. That means your cat, your comfort chihuahua, or even your surprisingly well-behaved bearded dragon now counts as a regular pet in the eyes of the airline. And that comes with size limits, carrier requirements, and extra fees. Now, if you're a college student flying home with a therapy pet, or a solo traveler who depends on their ESA to stay calm in the air, this change might feel personal, but unfortunately, emotional comfort doesn't always make it through policy review. So here's your travel vibes reminder. Double-check your airline's current pet policy before you fly. Each carrier has different guidelines on weight, carrier dimensions, and fees. Print out any necessary documentation, and don't assume last year's approval will fly this year. Because as much as we love our pets, the only surprise you want in flight is a free cookie, not a gate agent saying your dachshund has to stay behind. Here's the truth, traveler. The skies aren't what they used to be. The rules are shifting, the tech is evolving, and that fine print, it's sneakier than ever. Flying in 2025 isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about staying sharp, thinking ahead, and knowing what no one's telling you at check-in. But here's the good news. You're not flying blind. You've got the tools, the tips, and now, thanks to this video, the upper hand. So whether you're booking your first solo trip, juggling a cross-country schedule, or just trying to avoid surprise bag fees and robotic gates, remember this: prepared travelers fly better. Know the new rules, use the apps, ask the questions. Because when you fly informed, you fly with confidence, and that's the best upgrade you can get. If you found this helpful, tap that like button, share it with your travel crew, and let us know in the comments what airline surprises you've run into lately. We read them all. This is Travel Vibes, signing off, and we'll see you at your next gate, smarter and smoother than ever.